Hi everyone. Listen, a little bit of a departure today. I've been talking about feature films, excuse me, and some of the funny things that happened on that film. But you know, I'd totally forgotten about another source of income for actors. One that can raise eyebrows, quite frankly, and that's, of course, commercials. It's really the province of young actors, or actors starting into the business. Great way to make money at the start. Every major actor has even been in commercials at one point or another in their career. And so, you know, I thought I would take a few moments here and just talk to you about a few things that that happened with commercials, because some of them can be funny, some of them can be humiliating. So you be the judge. I remember one in particular was for IKEA. The call for the audition was bathrobe, lipstick, fishnet stocking, and boxer shorts. That was what we were to bring on the call. Okay, so you go down, you kind of figure out what the hell this is all about. It was quite interesting, even from the get-go, when we changed into our fishnet stockings, boxer shorts, and our house coat. We didn't put the lipstick on out at this point, but we're standing in the lobby, and there's a child's commercial being shot or being auditioned for right beside us. So you had a number of maybe a dozen or so of these kids, 5 to maybe 10, 11, sitting there, standing there, watching all these grown men stand around and talk in house coats with fishnet stockings on. I mean, it must have been quite a shock for the kids. But the actual commercial was pretty interesting. When you got called to go in, you would sit down in a chair and roll down one of your stockings, and then as the camera rolled, you had to roll up your stocking, and your back was to the camera. They could just see it from the side. Then you turned a little bit and you were in your house coat, and then you pick up a wig and you put on this wig. And then with the wig on, you turn immediately to the right and you look in the mirror, and the camera picks you up from the mirror, and you start putting on your lipstick, and of course then you realize that it's a guy. It's not a woman at all, it's a guy. The guy gets up, goes downstairs, goes into his kitchen, it's early morning, sits down at a table. His wife is in the kitchen. She's made him some breakfast, puts some toast, coffee, and poached eggs in front of him or whatever. And then he suddenly realizes that he's forgotten something, and he picks up the toast, picks up the coffee, and moves out of the kitchen into this really great room that is just housed with all sorts of IKEA furniture, desks, etc., cabinets, and so on. And there he stands, or I should say he sits at his desk looking out over the backyard. There was a kid with a dog playing in the backyard. Beautiful scene through this window. And then the caption came up. It says, IKEA gives you the freedom to work anywhere you want. What you do with it is your business. I thought that was a pretty great caption for the commercial, right? And yet it didn't get approval to air in North America, so I guess not a lot of people liked it. It did run in Germany, though, so money was made. But I thought that was one of the better ones, without question. But there are some wacky ones. There was another one, an investment company that wanted to show they would do anything to get the deal, right? So we had to dress in businessman suits. We had to be out in front of these tall towers, Wall Street setting, all these men going back and forth, and it was all men, which was typical back then, 20 years ago. It was men going back and forth, and as we would walk by and a guy came this way and passed us, we'd quickly turn around, we'd lean over, and we'd walk behind him with our noses like 6 inches from his bum. And the caption of this commercial was, they do anything to sniff out a deal. Oh my God. Of course, it was a play on dogs and whatnot, and, you know, sniffing bums, etc. And of course, needless to say, it never got made. Or never got distributed, I should say. Oh God, you know, it was embarrassing, quite frankly. But then you have the funny ones, the fun ones as well. Of course, Riverdance was big way back when. Well, still is now, I guess. And they decided to do for Dr. Pepper what was called the Hudson River dance. So you had these 24 guys, all in work gear, hard hats, hammer belts, and steel-toed boots, and you know, all doing their little dance across the stage. You know, the Hudson River dance. It was really quite funny. It did air, but I don't think it aired in the States. It didn't air for that long, though, if I recall correctly. So, you know, that was a terrific audition as well. It was really, it was really fun to do. I mean, when you get a dozen or so fat guys and ask them to dance, boy, you're asking for some real laughs, especially if you expect them to be in sync, which no one was. Oh my God, enough of that. Anyways, some of them can be very, very problematic. One in particular was for another investment company who wanted to show that they were great at getting, you know, getting to the bottom of good deals and whatnot. And they tried to, in the commercial, talk about how, you know, a guy bought 10,000 acres of corn, and that the corn was going to be used as a supplement to oil, etc., for vehicles and so on. Of course, no longer, the minute it actually aired. Strange part about that was that the food industry got down on them real big for using a food source for an oil to supplement the oil industry, when in fact there were already shortages in corn. So, that one was pulled pretty quickly. I mean, how they would ever get to that point, the advertising firms, these are huge firms, you know, would get to the point where they wouldn't be sensitive to that. Just, I mean, I'm amazed. I don't know how they could come up with it. And present it. Someone, I guess, just thought it was a great idea and didn't investigate anything. It was really bad, actually, and it was embarrassment to be truthful. But the biggest embarrassment for me was being dressed as a beaver, auditioning a line of chipmunks, and I was smoking a stogie. If that's not bad enough, it was for Paramount. Big bucks were spent on it. Every time they opened up a movie theater, we would have to go down live and do this. And one of the theaters was a huge one here in Toronto. Grand opening, Klieg lights, everything all over the place, right? Anyway, it went print, live, not only on TV, but as an advertisement in the theater itself before films. It wasn't that bad, but I really felt kind of stupid as a squirrel sucking on a stogie auditioning a row of squirrels. But it really got too much. We were in a bar one night drinking, and one of the fellows came up and says, "Oh my God, you got to go down to the can. You won't believe it." And I, "What? Come on, I got to go down to..." And I thought, what the hell is this about? So 5 or 6 of us go tropping down to the can. And there, above all the men's urinals, was my face in the beaver suit, auditioning the squirrels. And to this day, excuse me, that had to be one of the most embarrassing moments in commercials. But hey, what can I say? That's show business. Talk to you again soon.